In our second example here, call this example 2, what we're going to see is when we do the long division, we will have an actual remainder, which means what we're dividing by is not a factor of the original polynomial. So we're going to divide 4 minus 5x minus x squared plus 6x cubed. We're going to divide that by 3x minus 2. So we're going to take this polynomial and divide it by 3x minus 2. Now the first thing that you should see is the polynomial that I have in the first one is not written in the correct descending order. We need to change that order when we put it underneath of the division symbol. So let's put it under the division symbol. And we're going to put it in the correct order. The 6x cubed is the highest power term. The minus x squared is the next one. The minus 5x is the next one, and then plus 4 is the last one. What we're dividing by, fortunately, is in perfect order already. It's 3x minus 2. That's good to go. Alright, so now let's see what the process is again here. So the first thing is we look at the first term, 3x. We ask ourselves, what do we multiply times 3x to get 6x cubed? And the answer to that is 2x squared. I'm going to place that on top of my x squared, and then we multiply the 2x squared by both terms on the outside here. So 2x squared times 3x needs to be 6x cubed. It is, and that's what we have to have happen, because that first term has to go away when we do the subtraction every single time, or we did something wrong. And then we multiply the 2x squared times the negative 2, which is going to be minus 4x squared. Now this is the perfect example of where putting this parentheses before we do the subtraction is really, really important. So the 6x cubed minus 6x cubed, that's 0, that's gone, that has to go away. Now what we have, and this is where you have to be careful, is you have minus x squared minus a minus 4x squared. Remember, minus minus is plus. So it's really minus x squared plus 4x squared, and that's going to leave us with positive 3x squared. Bring down the next term, which is a minus 5x. Repeat the process. So now we're going to ask ourselves, what do we multiply by the 3x to get us that 3x squared? And the answer, of course, to that is just x. So we do plus x on top. So now we're going to do the x times the 3x, that's 3x squared. X times the minus 2 is minus 2x. Don't forget your parentheses and subtract. 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0. Again, that has to happen every time. And now you've got minus 5x minus a minus 2x. But again, a minus minus is plus. So it's really minus 5x plus 2x. Minus 5x plus 2x is minus 3x. Bring down the plus 4. Alright, one more step here. Now we're going to ask ourselves, what do I multiply times 3x to give me the minus 3x? Well, that's just minus 1. So I write minus 1 at the top. So minus 1 times 3x is minus 3x. Minus 1 times minus 2 is plus 2. Put a parentheses and subtract. Minus 3x minus a minus, which again is plus 3x, minus 3x plus 3x is going to be 0. Okay, those are opposites, those make sense. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. So this time I do have a remainder. I have nothing else to bring down. So the answer to this equation, to this division is going to be 2x squared plus x minus 1 plus 2 over the original dividend, which is 3x minus 2. It's what's on the outside. So the remainder, that is your remainder, always goes back on top of the original of the outside. That is the division for that problem. Okay, we're going to do one more example of long division before we get to our last topic. And our division problem here is going to be when we want to divide we want to divide 6x to the fourth plus 5x cubed plus 3x minus 5. And we want to divide that by 3x squared minus 2x. Okay, so there's a couple of things in this particular problem that we have to notice. First of all, they are in descending order, so that's good. When we go to do this division, however, the thing that we're putting underneath of here, 6x to the fourth plus 5x cubed, notice that there's no x squared term. Well, we need to actually have an x squared term in there in order to make this work. You need to have a placeholder. So we need to include a 0 x squared. Then we can finish it off plus 3x minus 5. So what's underneath of here? You need to have everything from the highest exponent all the way down. On the outside, you also need to have that. In this case, we have 3x squared minus 2x. I don't need to put plus 0 on the end because the only thing that's missing is my constant term. But if I was missing the 2x term and I had a constant instead, I would have actually had to include the 2x term. All right, so we're going to move through this one just a little bit quicker because we've done a couple of examples already. So remember, the idea is, what do I multiply by 3x squared to get 6x to the fourth? Well, 3 times 2 is the 6. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. So I'm going to get 2x squared. That's going to go here. And then I'm going to multiply 2x squared times 3x squared. That gives me 6x to the fourth. I'm going to multiply 2x squared times the minus 2x, and that's going to give me minus 4x cubed. And then we're going to subtract. 6x to the fourth minus 6x to the fourth is 0. 5x cubed minus 4x cubed is going to be a plus, so it's really 9x cubed. Okay, and then we're going to bring down the 0x squared, and then we're going to start the process over again. So what do I multiply times 3x squared to get 9x cubed? Well, that'll be 3x. So now I'll multiply the 3x times everything on the outside, which is going to be 3x times 3x squared, that's 9x cubed. 3x times minus 2x is minus 6x squared. Put your parentheses and subtract. 9x cubed minus 9x cubed is 0. I have 0x squared minus, which now becomes plus 6x squared, so that gives me 6x squared. Bring down the 3x. Start the process over again. What do I multiply 3x squared to get 6x squared? Just multiply it by 2. So 2 times 3x squared is 6x squared. 2 times minus 2x is minus 4x. Parentheses. Subtract. 6x squared minus 6x squared is 0. 3x minus, again, that becomes plus. 4x now becomes 7x. Now there's nothing that I can multiply 3x squared times to get this 7x down here, so I'm going to bring down the minus 5, and that 7x minus 5 is now my remainder because I can't multiply 3x squared times another polynomial to get 7x. It just doesn't work that way. So my final answer is 2x squared plus 3x plus 2 plus 7x minus 5 over the original of what's on the outside, which is 3x squared minus 2x. And that's the division of those two polynomials.